Oh, this star. See, Mario 64 is a game I've had, I think, since I got my Nintendo 64. Certainly one of my oldest 3D memories. Although I think I got a Nintendo 64 after I got a PlayStation. So it might not actually be one of my earliest 3D memories. It might be one of my earliest 3D Nintendo memories for myself. Actually owning it for myself. Now I have to get the star without hitting the eel and killing myself. Which can be really finicky. And I am going to go and get some coins to make sure I don't die. Because with that low health, like just touching the eel would be death. You also have to be quick because the eel will go back in. Oh. So, speaking about the analog movement for the 3D gameplay being really important to Mario 64, and the game being pretty much entirely designed around that, it's weird that Mario 64 DS exists. Because the DS, it was a launch title for the DS, and it is a really fun game, don't get me wrong. It's Mario 64, but with extras. Which isn't a bad thing. However, the DS doesn't have an analog stick. I think at one point it was... I think I saw a mock-up at one point of the DS with an analog stick, which would have been kind of cool, but would really eliminate the form factor. The slide pad that the 3DS went with was very understandable to maintain the form factor of the thing. But Mario 64 DS, controlling with the D-pad, definitely has issues with the control there, because the game is designed for the analog stick, and you can feel it. Well, don't get me wrong, if you can get past it, Mario 64 DS is solid. It's, it's very much the same game, but with a bunch of extras. You can play as Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi. The game starts with you playing as Yoshi, and you have to rescue Mario. I might record that at some point in the distant future, because I'm recording Mario 64 now, not going to go straight into 64 DS. But it is a fun game. Mario 64 portable in, what was it, like 2005, maybe 2004, 2005, was actually really cool. Hopefully the bob-omb has spawned. No, it doesn't look like he has, so I'm going to stick to my guns and not do that. Snowman's Land, yay! In fact, actually, you can get more than the required number of stars, because after you hit a certain number of stars, another course opens up that isn't downstairs that you don't need to beat the first boss for. Big Boo's Haunt, which I had forgotten. Whee! So I do really like Mario 64. I remember the GameCube. I'm not going to get that mushroom, I can feel it. I remember the GameCube came out and there was Mario Sunshine, and I remember at the time that Mario Sunshine was getting a lot of flack for not being good enough to be a sequel to Mario 64, which I think is kind of disingenuous. Mario Sunshine is a really solid game. I do have one major issue with it. No, I have several major issues with it, but I have one real big issue with it, but I'll cover that when we get to Mario Sunshine in the future. But Mario Sunshine was the last 3D Mario game, or 3D designed Mario game that I plugged a bunch of time into, that I actually beat until... Don't walk up the wall! Get back down here! Yeah, it was the last 3D designed Mario that I beat until Mario Odyssey on Switch. I had a bunch of fun with Mario Odyssey, because one of my issues with Mario Sunshine and Galaxy 2 was that the levels were all linear, which isn't a bad thing in itself, but I love the 64 design where the levels are just worlds that you can explore that have stars in them. And then Mario Odyssey brought that back. This is more irritating than the health beat from Zelda. There you go. Yeah, I love the open level design and the actual worlds of it. And Sunshine wasn't too bad with it, but I know Galaxy got very linear. You went into it, you picked a star, and then the only way you could go was that way. Whereas Sunshine was a little bit more open than that, not as open as this. But when they brought this design back for Mario Odyssey, I really did love it. Alongside other things, Mario Odyssey is an excellent game. I say like 3D design Mario games because you've got 3D Land and 3D World, which they're both solid games. I got the first ending of 3D Land, although I didn't continue playing it much further. So I've not actually fully beaten the game, and I think I was in like World 3 on 3D World when I just kind of stopped playing it, which is a bad habit of mine. And they're solid games, but like, my big issue with them is that they are 3D games designed with a 2D mentality, which I'm not overly fond of, especially with the overabundance of the new Super Mario series, which are just 2D Mario games. And for the 3D Mario games to have a similar design mentality to that, I was just not overly fond of the idea, though they are good games and I have had fun with them. I think we'll go and take on Bowser now and then head into the basement. No, not the basement, we'll go and do Big Boo's Horn after we take on Bowser. I love this little quirk. It's like, based on what you've seen so far, you'd think that it was, that you'd jump into the portrait and there'd be Peach. I do really need to spend more time with Galaxy. I haven't beaten either of the Galaxy games. I know they have excellent reputations, and it's not like I hated what I played. My biggest problem with them was the Wii controls. I don't like the motion controls. I don't like the pointer in the platforming. It all just really irritates me, and I feel like it kind of detracts from the experience. So if Mario Galaxy let you play with the Wii Classic controller or the GameCube controller, I would have been all over that. Probably would have beaten it a few times. But at some point with this channel, I am going to start going into my backlog of games that I haven't beaten, and the Galaxy games are definitely on there. I will just have to get over it and learn to enjoy it. or if not enjoy it, learn to accept it so I can enjoy the rest of the game. So Bowser's design is really kind of interesting. I forget if I hold this. No, I just press it. Okay. Yeah, first time. Bowser's design in the 64 games is really interesting because after the 64, because he has this kind of design in the Mario Party games as well on the Nintendo 64, but then after that, his design has been pretty much entirely the same since the GameCube. And what I mean by that is, it's basically been the same basic design, just the character model has gotten better quality. Whereas this one looks visually kind of different from how he ended up becoming on the GameCube. I know that scared a lot of people as kids. We need to take out all the ghosts, and I'm going to have to head round the back because I don't have the vanish cap yet. Because there is a ghost hiding round back. So supposedly the like Ocarina of Time was in development for damn it. Actually, is this star available right now? No, it doesn't look like it. Mario 64 was in development at the same time as Ocarina of Time. So Ocarina of Time was in development for a long time. It took them a long time to figure out what they wanted to do with it, and there's some really interesting beta stuff you can find. Like, originally, there were ideas of having the main game in Ocarina take place in Ganon's Tower as a hub world. That was... Okay, I'm killing you. There we go. And, like, Ganon's Tower would be a hub world, and you would get to the different dungeons by going through paintings like Mario 64. But supposedly the more puzzle design of this game compared to, say, Sunshine or Galaxy, which are more straight platforming challenges, was a result of being in development at the same time as Ocarina. Like, some attention being split between the higher-ups, probably. Like, Miyamoto was probably involved in both of them. I'll be honest, I kind of liked the puzzle aspects of this game, like, as well as the platforming. I think it's a really neat addition. To go with the platforming. I like it. And like the star names being like riddles to give you a clue on how to get the stars was kind of neat. I thought it was fun. So that boo laugh is actually the Bowser laugh just sped up, like the laugh we heard Bowser make when we met him. So that's a really interesting little tidbit, I think. Oh, there's more stars to get from Big Boo's haunt. Okay, so this one is the star I was considering trying to get after I fell down, but wasn't actually available. So we'll just fall down again to it's the quickest way, actually. See, now one of them's spewing fire, and I think another one spews fire, and also there are boos coming out of this one. Nice, twofer. So of course boos have the traditional properties where they will go invisible when you look at them, which is a translation of the... it's a translation of what they did in the 2D games, where they would cover their eyes and stop moving if you looked at them. Yeah, it makes sense. It makes the most effective way of dealing with them being backflipping into a ground pound. Like, face away from them, backflip, ground pound on them. Alright. So, we will be probably coming back. There's an easy star we can get here that does require the vanish cap. So we'll probably come back for that. But it'll be on the way back upstairs anyway. I think we want this one. Yeah, this is the library. There's an interesting bit that you might have noticed so far. The low poly count from Mario. When Mario gets a certain distance from the camera, when he's moving, he will drop polygons into a simpler form. And this is probably the easiest place to spot it because this wall is just far enough. So, like, we've got normal Mario, and now we've got low poly Mario. Normal, low poly. Because it's just far enough for us to get a good look. Okay, so 1, 3, 2. Easy as pie. One thing I wasn't overly fond of in Mario 64 DS was the insistence on using Mario for certain things. It's like you've got the 4 characters: Mario, Luigi, Wario, and Yoshi. And it's like you start as Yoshi, but you can't fight Bowser until you find Mario. And you're just not allowed to go into the Bowser rooms unless you're Mario. There are ways around it, but you're just not supposed to be able to. So there are actually toads all over the place. They actually do a very similar thing to the Kokiri in Ocarina of Time, where when you're further away from them, they kind of disappear slightly. Oh, I hate this rabbit. Although I will say, chasing this rabbit is actually how I found Shifting Sandland. Because I was diving at the rabbit, I missed, and I bumped into what looked like a solid wall. I should have caught that. It's possible to be able to recreate it here. Anyway, I was hoping it'd go forward. Nope, we caught it. Okay, and it gives us a star. Mario 64 DS went overboard with these things. There's loads of them, and I think there's 8 per character that you have to catch, and they'll give you keys. But yeah, run into... I just... Chasing the rabbit, and I go... chasing the rabbit down here, and I dive and hit this, and it shimmers like a painting. You know what? Let's do this one now.